Hi, welcome to this video. We're talking about Centrify Infrastructure Services. And this is the privilege service component. And this series is about high availability and testing high availability in your lab environment. And what do we have here? We have a 3-node cluster. As you know, if you've been following the blog posts, privilege service customer managed or customer hosted on premises supports Windows Server Failover Clustering, right? So what we have is we have a 3-node cluster. We have the Centrify Privilege Service generic script installed and running, and notice that is actually running on member 3. So if I go, I have two different users here. I have an administrator, notice the experience, but also I have a limited user. And if I go and look and do an about, you'll notice that member 3 is the actual owner node here. So this is quite consistent. So the first administrative failover that I'm going to show you is when you need to bring a system for maintenance. Maybe you want to have it not participate in the cluster. Maybe you want to demote the active node, and this is what I'm going to do, perhaps because you're going to ready for an upgrade, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Windows Server Failover Clustering tool, and I can go to the actual node, and if what I want is to, for example, start my upgrade by upgrading member 3, I would just basically pause it and say, go ahead and drain the roles. So at this point, what is going to happen at the application level is that the active node or ownership of the cluster is going to be passed to another member of the cluster that is eligible. In this case is member 4. One of the things that I can do to monitor remotely is to use PowerShell. For example, the database takes a little longer to start. So what I can do is do a get service, and the name is CISDB PGSQL. And the computer in this case, it would be a member 4. At this point, I see that the service is running. I could actually do the same for the W3SVC, which is the World Wide Web, the web service in Windows. So it's actually running as well. And all I need to do then is just refresh. If I refresh over here, my expectation is not only that I maintain my session, right, but also that it reflects that I'm actually working with a different node. So if I do an about here, notice that it's member 4 now, the owner node. If I go back to my other user here, I'm going to just go ahead and do an about again, and notice that it's already there. So this is the most basic failover, is an administrative failover. In the next video, we're going to show what happens when you want to upgrade.